All right, Sagittarians, welcome into your monthly intuitive tarot reading. So this is for the month of May. We're going to see here, I'm shooting with the window open to get a nice breeze, but hopefully it's not too much background noise for everyone. But I'm feeling good with the window open, so we're going to roll with it. So how's everyone been doing? We are now in May, and we just had a big energetic astrological month in April. So let me know what happened for you in the comments. Anything to note around? We had the big Aries stellium mid-month, and then the other big one that just happened was Uranus moving into Gemini. So I did do a whole, I'm not going to get too much into it, but I do have a whole video on Uranus and Gemini. So if you didn't watch that, definitely go take a look, because the reading is kind of tapping into that energy and what we can expect and look forward to and just to be aware of. And I filmed that last month. It was, yeah, I can't remember if it was a weekly or if I did a specific video on just that, but I think it was specific. Anyways, why it's so big is when the outer planets move signs, it is a big impact to us individually and the collective, and that is due because the outer planets take a long time to move through signs. So they're in signs for a long period of time. So the impact is pretty drawn out, right? The energies. So when they move, it's not like it's going to just like hit the first day. You know, it really takes, like, Uranus is in a sign for about 7-8 years. So then when it moves, it's kind of a big change. So Uranus was in Taurus, and now it moved into Gemini. And Sagittarians, I think, let me just double check. I don't have all my like fixed, mutable, cardinal, blah, blah, blah signs memorized, but what Sag? So you are immutable, Sag. So because Gemini is immutable and Uranus is in Gemini, all the mutable signs are kind of impacted more strongly. So Sages, this is going to have a bigger impact for you guys. So just watch. This is a time, Gemini is a fast moving energy. So is Uranus. So things are going to happen more quickly. This is really a time for you to focus on and really be cognizant and aware of anything in your life that just isn't serving you anymore. And you can feel it in your intuition. And here's the thing, especially with Uranus. If you're going to try and be in denial about something, or, you know, Sagittarius isn't too much of a sign that's like, you know, like Taurus likes its creature comforts. It likes its safety zone. It doesn't like change. So when Uranus was in Taurus, it was a very difficult energy. But with Gemini now, the two kind of air sign, or, you know, because it's very flowy energy. Gemini's an air sign. So things are lighter, and Gemini tends to work a little bit better with Uranus. So, and Sag, you're pretty good at like going with the flow, and like, you know, you're okay with change. I would say Sages are, you like to have a good time. You like to adventure. So, you know, it might not be as difficult for you, but some people, you know, who are more in the dense energy and stuck in some darker belief systems, you know, you may if you're too in denial about a situation in your life or a relationship, and, you know, this is not the time. Uranus breaks us free of any of these traditional ways of living that are stem from a program or narrative that we were sold by our parents, our families, our collective, you know, societies, religions. Like, this is a template, is basically boxed, type of way of life. So let's say marriage is definitely a template. How we have kind of boxed marriage as this is what marriage looks like. These are the rules. This is what, constitutes as this is what society accepts. This is what religions accepts. That is a template. And the marriage template has literally been stuck in its almost onset of tradition for hundreds and hundreds of years. And we are now breaking that template. So anyone stuck to this, I have to still, I have to, what word am I looking for? I have to sign up for that old narrative of marriage, especially for anybody, and if you're watching this channel, you definitely are on this spiritual ascension path. That isn't work for you anymore. It doesn't mean that you can't get married and that you can't have a marriage, but the marriage has to be based and rooted in spiritual beliefs and values, something that really works for the highest and best good of both people. And it really is two independent, free kind of people who've done their inner work, who are aligned to grow with each other emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, that come together and want to more integrate the physical reality together. This isn't about oh, I need that stability. I need you to make me feel safe. I need you to make me feel emotionally whole. I need it because I don't want to be lonely. I need someone to take care of me, right? All of these old, outdated templates of you have to marry me, we have to have this, the house and the kids, and we have to be, it has to look like this. We have to be the sports parents. We have to have this much money. We have to have these types of cars. We have to go on these types of vacations and hang out with these types of people. And that's very surface level. And if that's what you're kind of stuck in, I already know by this point in time where we are at in the current energies, you already are feeling it in your soul and your heart that it's not working for you. Either you're already working your way out of it, you're transitioning out, or you know it. And this is now an energy with Uranus and Gemini that Uranus is not playing around, and Uranus is just going to come through and kind of blow stuff up that isn't working. It doesn't care if you're not ready. So that's where it's like, if we've been holding on to something for too long, Uranus is going to, especially with the mutable signs, it's going to kind of help you, push you along. Okay, I did shut the window. So let's go ahead and start the reading here. I'm going to pull some oracle cards first. We'll get some foundational energies for the month. Oops. Definitely don't forget to check out all my other sites, my Etsy site. I do have handmade energy tools, which are these bracelets that I'm always wearing. They are in all different sorts of stones, higher quality stones, more affordable stones, and they're great to help support you in your ascension, in your growth. And if anyone's looking for a personal reading, you can also book one on my website, which is linked below. Okay. Sagittarians. Okay, voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you. So when I do each individual zodiac sign, there are some things that I do talk about in each video, but most of the time I just let whatever messages need to come. And so what I was just talking about of relationships, I do feel like that was meant to come to you. And then we have the voyage of the heart card. So there is some voyage that you've been on when it comes to matters of your heart. It could be a relationship. It could be just, what is it that you really desire? And part of what we desire is part of the reason we came down here. So if there's something that you have pushed away or not done, or your heart has always yearned for, and you're not doing it or following it, or staying stuck in a situation that is not that, again, you're basically going against the whole reason you're here. Impasse. Reflect and redirect your energy. So yes, you are at an impasse right now, and you're kind of like, right? Like, what do I do? Where do I go from here? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? So you're definitely in the impasse right now. And this, what's going to help you get over this impasse and figure out what your next step is or decision is again, going back to your heart, going back to your soul. Where are you? What is your truth calling for you to do? This is not a time, we are breaking down the templates. We're breaking down the belief systems or the stories or the voice of the people externally that are telling us we have to do that, or you need to do this, you have to think about us, you have to be responsible, or all of these things, or hey, that's not a normal path to take. So then people could be putting in your, ear fear. Or maybe there is fear in you that's just in there from, how you were programmed. Watching clouds, lie back, rest, and relax. So that's the other reason. This isn't a time to try and work hard to figure out how to get through the impasse or over this impasse. Actually, what you're supposed to do is actually just sit back and sit like this squirrel's just sitting, looking at the road, but he's not really moving. He's just sitting, looking, looks like he's enjoying a nut or something there. But that's exactly what Spirit is saying for you right now. Just lie back, rest, relax, and guess what? Just do things that give you peace, do things that make you happy, and that's where you'll figure out the next step, or figure out a decision, or what's in your highest and best good. Okay, I'm going to pull some Gilded Reverie Lenormand cards as well. Yeah, Compass. So you're definitely at this impasse, and it's like this refers to your internal compass, okay? But it's also kind of the metaphor of what a compass in real life, right? You have a compass, it helps you figure out, navigate your path. Which direction should I go? But you have an internal compass. We all have an internal compass, which is our intuition, which is the little nudges that we get, which is our passion, our excitement, our creativity, our happiness. Those are all things navigating us. So if you're constantly pushing your happiness away, what you're actually doing, it's like being stuck in the middle of, let's say the middle of, the wilderness of Alaska without a compass. Like, you're screwed, right? You're really screwed. Like, you're not getting out. You're going to be stuck. And it's going to start to impact your life and your overall health. And that's exactly what happens when we don't follow our inner compass, when we actually go against our internal compass. That can be true for relationships. When we force ourselves in a relationship because of a codependency or attachment, most of the time these relationships are karmic relationships. And you know it by what you feel, okay? And you could say, I'm in love with this person, but how does this person, ultimately, do you feel safe? Is there emotional availability? Do they make you feel seen, validated, and loved in a healthy way? Most of the time, people think love equates to abuse. And I know people think of abuse as like, oh, physical abuse and things. But actually, abuse can be very hard to see. There's financial abuse, someone who's very controlling of money and who, crumbs you with money and who's always maybe criticizing you and saying, watching what you spend. That's actually financial abuse. There's emotional abuse. And basically emotional abuse is if you're not getting your emotional needs met. Or if someone who's always taking and you're always giving them emotional love, and you're always giving them attention, and it's always about them. That's emotional abuse. So it comes in many different forms, but there's something here about needing to go back to your internal compass, Sages. 38, this is actually the bridge. So there is some sort of, so you're at an impasse here, but all of a sudden I feel like this isn't a time to try and build your own bridge. A bridge will just appear. And that also will guide you when you connect back to your internal compass. And then we have the mice. So there's a little bit of caution here, especially too with anyone externally, people, friends, family, a relationship that's trying to get in your head or in your ear and try to lead you astray. You need to follow your soul. This is really imperative right now. You need to be following your soul. You need to be following your intuition here. And a lot of times, again, we're led astray when we listen to everyone else against our own inner, right? Our inner compass telling us the opposite. And we can feel it. You can push it away as long as you want, but we're now in a time where you can't anymore. Especially if that's why you came here in this lifetime, to really go through the spiritual development and spiritual growth. All right, going to the tarot, we have the King of Cups, Strength, and Queen of Swords. So this is really about overcoming. There's definitely reference to relationship here. It's referring to different people here. We have the King of Cups. We have the Queen of Swords. So that's a very opposing energy here. We have someone who, the Queen of Swords is not emotional, right? She's not in, she leads with her mind. She leads with her, again, logic, where the King of Cups is leading through emotion, through his heart. So this could be a relationship where there could just be like not compatibility here, like this isn't compatible. And the Strength card is referring to just like having the confidence and the courage to really just, accept that for what it is and not keep trying. It's like, again, trying to put a round peg in a square hole. Like you're just going to keep trying, and all it's going to do is create frustration and resentment, and both parties end up not really getting their needs met. But let's see. Let's keep going and see. But there's some sort of clarity here too with the Queen of Swords. Like something's getting really clear. Like especially even here, you can see her looking. She's kind of looking at this king, where the king's actually like looking down. She's looking at the king here, and she's like really seeing something for what it is. She's really getting clarity about a situation here. And sometimes this King of Cups can have a hard time actually, which is interesting since he's the king of emotions. Sometimes the King of Cups can have a hard time expressing their emotions or communicating what they need. Knight of Swords, more swords energy here. There could be, this is like, let's see, let me pull some more here. 5 of Pentacles, yep, and the Tower. Okay, so exactly what I thought. There's definitely some resentment and anger building on especially more on one side of this situation here with one person. And this has really created, at the heart of the reading here, this is referring to a situation where the energy, just the whole situation in general has gotten really just unhealthy. And it doesn't mean this has to be like outwardly abusive or anything, but could be a lot of conflict. But the 5 of Pentacles, I always think, how I explain the 5 of Pentacles is like, you're just not happy in your life. Like there's a situation where you're just not happy. It's not fulfilling you. Your cup's not filled. There's just a lack of physicality, of experience, of connection, of, there could be financial that can also refer to financial issues or maybe even money compatibility, finance compatibility as well. But the Tower comes in here. So the Tower's coming in to really bring some clarity and truth. The truth has to really be kind of seen and acknowledged with this situation. And that's the only way up. It's the only way out of this. And I think the Tower is going to bring the Bridge here, which is a way out. Ace of Pentacles. I like this though. I like the Tower and the Ace of Pentacles because what's opening up is an opportunity for both sides here. It's like in a loop. It's like something that's been in a loop for a long time, and finally it's like, hey, there's like a merge off where it's like finally a merge opens up, and it's like, are you gonna take it? Right? Impasse. Are you gonna take it? Ten of Pentacles. So for some of you, for a few of you, this could actually refer to a marriage. And it's like getting out of a marriage because there is something about money here and finances and like the family. So it's like figuring all this out. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, working through this. It's like you have to work out some details of this. And maybe that's why you haven't really done anything like drastic or made a big decision here. But you really hit the impasse where you're like, we can't just keep going down the same path. We can't keep doing the same thing. But this is going to be for the best and highest good of everyone. So there is something about home and money here coming up, but there's an opportunity, and the Tower, I think, is what's opening up this opportunity. Let's talk to the King of Cups. What's going on with this King of Cups, or what is he thinking, feeling here? Okay, so I actually got the King of Wands in reverse. So this king is not feeling confident. He's not feeling, it's almost like he's definitely not getting what he needs from a physical level, intimately, emotionally. So either he's not getting it or he's not giving it. But there could be something where his work or business is kind of not in a good place right now, which is impacting his money situation. But Queen of Swords, let's talk to her. Queen of Wands. So that's interesting, right? We got the King and Queen of Wands for both, but one side has the reversal and one is upright. So I feel like this Queen of Swords is actually in the better energy, the better position. Maybe this person's job, money is doing really well. And that has maybe created some of this issues as well, because there's a little bit of like, I don't want to say jealousy, but maybe like this person's not doing as well. And so this person doing so well is kind of creating some resentment. But so, just because it's a female and a male, I mean, that could be the gender roles here, but you could also swap them. But there is definitely two people. Is looking more like this is a relationship, like a partnership, romantic partnership. And it's almost like, so what I'm intuitively picking up, and even from the cards, is almost like this queen is like, she's really growing, making big strides. This could be energetically, spiritually, but also it's like manifesting physically. And she doesn't see that the partner is doing the same stuff to grow. And he's not doing as well, and he's kind of stuck. But she's like, hey, I'm growing. The Queen of Swords too is about, she's clear about where she's going. She has goals, she has clarity, and she has her eyes set on that growth. And I just don't feel like this other person is in that same boat, and that's creating a lot of dissonance. As this person grows, the other one is kind of not. And that's where the dissonance, as you continue to like increase your vibration, kind of your consciousness grows, your awareness grows. If someone else isn't growing with you, it's just going to keep getting harder and harder to stay together. Let's get one for the Tower. Judgment. Yep, that's the impasse. So there's Judgment Day here, and it flies in. This is Uranus. Uranus is coming in and basically saying you have to make a decision. Like shit or get off the pot. Like, we can't keep going. Like, someone's got places to be. It's just, and not saying anything bad against the other person, but it's just like right. It's like your paths are going in different directions. Knight of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Yeah, this has just been super challenging. People are feeling beat up. People are just tired of it. Yeah, it's creating resentment and some anger. It's definitely created hard feelings here. Let's see, 10 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands. Yeah, making a decision, Knight of Pentacles. It's almost like you have to strategically figure out the physical things. Money, you could be living, if you're not married, this could be like you live together and you kind of have a combined life right now. And it's like making decisions about what that looks like, figuring it, like Nine of Pentacles is like figuring out the steps, right? Like, what do we need to do here? Figuring out a plan. There could be something about work, like also being a thing here, work and money. And I'll do one more for the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Yeah, there's the Truth. So it's an opportunity to speak the truth, for the truth to come out, and for just everyone to get clarity and move forward. Five of Swords. There's a lot of too much logic and being in the mind. And someone's mind could be racing a lot. There could be a lot of, there could be some manipulation going on. Someone's definitely more controlling. You know, it's just, yeah, it's the Ace of Swords is coming through to cut through these dynamics. It's just hasn't been good. So this is really interesting because how I started the reading and what I talked about is exactly like the prelude to the reading here. So this is definitely specific for certain Sagittarians. It's definitely about a relationship situation here. All right, Sages. Well, this will be good for you, though. This is definitely going to be good. And I've kind of told people, like, 2026, the big months were February, April, and then July is going to be the next big month. But July also, the first part of the year is about really kind of like a lot of growth, a lot of internal growth and change and transformation. And then all of a sudden, now we're going to start to see this manifesting in the physical, right? And we also have to cut through anything that's not working for us to then move forward and get to where we need to be and start, you know, bringing in and attracting physical things that align more with our new energy. And July is going to be more about embodiment, which means like things in the physical are going to start to really show up and align with what we've been doing the first half of the year. Well, don't forget to like, subscribe as well if you haven't yet, guys. It would be amazing. Also, I kind of consider subscribers a part of the soul tribe here. We're creating soul tribes now moving forward from 2026. And if you don't have your own soul tribe, you know, even if it's kind of not what you are ideally think of a soul tribe, but energetically we are. And I'm sending good energy out to all of you, especially the soul tribe here, but everyone who watches my channel. Thank you for supporting me, and I'm here supporting you energetically as well. So thank you all. Have a great May, and I'll see you in the next reading.